Salute, salute, and welcome to the Real Big Fruit Podcast. I'm your host, Big Fruit, the Michael Jordan of recording early in the morning, also known as the voice of the streets, but better known as the glue, because I like to keep things together and keep them in this proper perspective. How y'all doing out there on this Saturday morning? Happy weekend. What's good, peoples? It's an early one. I'm up early, putting that work in around the crib. You know what I'm saying? In pain, my arm is killing me. Y'all do not know how much pain I am. I sat here and said, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this video, but I'm here. My arm is in pain. You know what I'm saying? I had to get up early, take care of home, make sure the dogs is right. I gotta go to work today and put in some OT this morning. Also, I gotta cut the grass. All that while my arm hurts, son. You know what I'm saying? No pain, no gain. That's what they say, right? No pain, no gain. I gotta put this work in around the crib, son, and get shit right. But Monday morning, I take that shot. Wifey just told me when I take that shot, I'm gonna feel like I could lift 1,000 pounds. That's how it's gonna have me feeling. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm up early in the morning and I'm working. You know what I'm saying? Not only am I working around the house for the family and the dogs, but I'm working for y'all too. You know what I'm saying? I don't normally do this, but I see some things going on social media that I felt like I wanted to talk about. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, shout out to DC Young Fly and his whole little crew, 85 South. They do what they do. I actually met one of them. You know what I'm saying? The little one, Chico Bean. Yeah, that's his name, Chico, right? Chico Bean, the little big-headed one. Yo, son, he's mad tiny. He's mad little. I ran into him in the Midnight Diner down here in Charlotte All-Star Weekend one year. He's mad little. I ain't gonna front on him neither, son. He was sitting up in there with two chicks waiting to be seated. Shout out to Chico Bean, word to mother. DC Young Fly. He's buzzing right now because I don't know how it resurfaced, but this is an old topic that resurfaced, and I'm still bugging out. How did this resurface? Like, how did this shit grow legs after a year or two? But anyway, the situation with Rick Ross came through their little podcast. I ain't say little to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? When Rick Ross came through their podcast or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He started off an interview and on some, I'll be right back, I gotta use the bathroom type shit. He pulled out on him. He just disappeared on the niggas. He ain't telling niggas he was leaving. He ain't dapped nobody up before he left. He just kept it pushing. And everybody was talking about it when it happened, but that shit was like water under the bridge, son. They ain't stressed that shit. Dudes went on, got plenty money since then. Both 85 South, DC Young Fly, and Rick Ross. They went and got plenty money since then. But for some reason, that shit resurfaced recently. And what I never saw when that shit first went down, I never saw any interviews where these guys spoke about the incident. We was doing all the talking. But as of this week, I seen certain clips from them dudes doing certain interviews. I mean, recent interviews where they're talking about it. I think they was on Power 105. And they was like, yo, to this day, we still don't know what happened type shit. You know what I'm saying? So people are still inquiring. Then that was Chico and the other guy. I seen them on the interview together, not DC. Then I'm seeing other YouTubers chop up DC Young Fly statement where he says, you know what I'm saying, where he talked about it. And I'm saying, damn, he has some words for Rick Ross, and it made so much sense. First of all, let me shout out DC Young Fly because he said what he had to say to Rick Ross without being rude, without being disrespectful, without putting himself in a bad light or bad image, because he got a good popping. Okay, we back. I thought I had some technical difficulties. But anyway, like I said, he didn't attack Rick Ross. He didn't attack his character. None of that, son. So I salute DC Young Fly for handling that shit with so much class and etiquette. But I'ma speak in layman's terms what he had to say to him. He like, yo, son, like, how you come through jump on our joint, violate us, pull out, ain't tell us nothing. Then the very next day, you sat on the platform with some pilgrims, some white folks, sat still for 2 hours. Ain't need no bathroom break when you was with them motherfuckers. Sat still for 2.5 hours, answered all their questions, and even allowed them to disrespect you and ask you about your career as a correction officer. Now, most people would say, yo, that wasn't disrespectful. They asked him about his career. But when you from the other side of the tracks, and now you in this hip-hop culture, and, you know, when 50 Cent attacked you about being Officer Ricky and all that, and you went through all that, you got the youngin', you know what I'm saying, that came up during that time, like DC Young Fly, who wanted to stamp a little respect on you, and they would have never asked you about that. You understand what I'm saying? So they was kind of, you know, DC Young Fly let that part be known too. Like, damn, son, not only did you violate us and go sit with the pilgrims, but you allowed them to ask you shit that we wouldn't have asked you. We wouldn't have put you in that light. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that. And he was like, yo, what's the difference between them and us? The only difference was they was white. I don't know if their platform was much bigger than 85 South. It's a great possibility, but they were white. They were pilgrims. You know what I'm saying? So you up there skinning and grinning with the pilgrims with all your motherfucking new teeth and shit. You know what I'm saying? Skinning and grinning with the pilgrims and left the homies for dead. That's why people running around saying the slave mentality with Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? He talk all that money shit, man, but he let it know he trying to get $1. And sometimes we sell our soul for $1, man. We'll sell our soul for $1. We'll offend people for $1. We'll disrespect people for $1. All that shit. You know what I'm saying? So once again, I commend DC Young Fly for conducting himself accordingly. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Rick Ross, like don't get me wrong, man. In New York, I know plenty of dudes that are correction officers. Shit, my wife is a retired New York State correction officer. Now, when you a New York City correction officer with Rikers Island or any borough facility, it's a great possibility you wired different. Then you got some suckers, you know what I'm saying, that's wired different as well. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how Rick Ross was wired in the penitentiary when he was on the job. I don't know how the state of Florida, you know what I'm saying, function and operate when you got black officers on the job. I don't know. I don't know nothing about the state of Florida, the city of Miami. I don't know any of that. You know what I'm saying? So I never attacked him or about being a correction officer. So what, motherfuckers, correction officers? How many correction officers we know in New York? And I definitely ain't had no dog in the fight because my wife retired correction officer. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I know there are some correction officers that they built different. Like Ebron. Shout out to Officer Ebron. You know what I'm saying? When he was correctional officer Ebron. Now he's retired, living lovely on that pension. You know what I'm saying? But he's chilling. But I know how he was giving it up when he was on the job, son. He was not a sucker. He was not a sucker, son. He wasn't a sucker. He wasn't an oppressor. None of that, son. He enjoyed his job. He enjoyed being around the people from his hood. He looked out for the people. He looked out for the young boys. Like, he wasn't a sucker. And to this day, he could walk the streets of Brooklyn with his head held high, running across all types of criminals, ex-convicts, murderers, and gangsters, and don't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? But you got some dudes who can't do that. They can't do that. They can't do that. They can't come outside. They can't run into certain dudes because they know they was foul on the job. They know they was suckers on the job. You know what I'm saying? If they wasn't oppressing you mentally, they was oppressing you physically. I'm telling you, son, you had some officers that was getting down like that. You know what I'm saying? Thank God my wife was not one of them. You know what I'm saying? No way whatsoever. But I don't know how Officer Ricky was giving it up. So I never attacked him about being an officer. You understand what I'm saying? But like DC Young Fly said, we would have never questioned you about no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? We just showed you your honor. We just showed you your respect. You know what I'm saying? We done bigged you up in this hip-hop culture. We done bigged your music up, all your business ventures. That's one place we would not have went. But yet you sitting up there skinning and grinning with the white folks, and that's exactly where they went. So I can understand how DC Young Fly felt. I can really understand. But what threw me off was I watched Rick Ross on an interview maybe a year ago, how he was saying how dudes be hating, dudes don't be bigging up their homies and shit like that. And he was referring to Instagram. He was talking about how, yo, if my man pop up on Instagram, I'm going to like it. I'm not going to scrutinize his outfit. I'm not going to scrutinize his sneakers. I'm not going to scrutinize his location. Once his name is there, like, and I keep it pushing because I'm supporting the people. He said a lot of people can't do that for each other. And when he said that, I felt that. But now I'm going back and playing the tape, how he walked off on a homie saying, damn, son, you a walking contradiction. You're a walking contradiction, son. So if you ask me what's going to end all this little buzz that grew legs after a year or two, what's going to end it is Rick Ross going to have to go back and do an interview with those guys, son. You know what I'm saying? A big interview. Do a big interview with them guys. If they in your city, because you know they tour a lot, they go get that comedy money. If they in your city, pull up, do an interview. You know what I'm saying? Or schedule one, put it together, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way you're going to end that. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to see, like DC said, I still listen to his music. I be mad, but I still listen to his music. You know what I'm saying? But squash that beef. That's the unnecessary one. We don't need no diss records made by Rick Ross, and we don't need these dudes to be burning you up on stage. We don't need that. You know what I'm saying? So let's put it into this shit real quick before it grows some more legs and get a new interview, man. Get a new interview. Because I'm telling you, man, if this shit go left, man, them niggas got jokes, Rick. And they subscribers and their viewers and their fans got plenty of jokes. Because if you play the tape back, Rick Ross was dripped in all white with that bubble vest colored Gucci jacket, right? But he had on all white under the jacket. Somebody said he did go to the bathroom. He might have shitted on himself. So he kept it pushing. Listen, son, I'm telling you, them niggas got jokes. So in this shit now. Word to brother. Listen, man, you know how I do. I come through 6 minutes, Dougie. I say what it is, say what it ain't. I felt the need to speak on this because I found it kind of entertaining. And I wanted to bring y'all some entertainment for the weekend. But like I said, I'm up early. I got to go to the gig, put some OT in. I got to come back home. I got to cut the grass. I got to do a couple of things. So I'm going to have a busy day. Plus, I think we popping out tonight. I got to call Brooklyn Mo because I think we popping out tonight. We shaking the leg on my end. Brooklyn Mo coming down my way, and we gonna do some things. So I'm gonna call Brooklyn Mo and get the definite status on what we doing later on this evening. But my hands is full. I got a busy day. You know what I'm saying? Between work in the crib and the family, y'all know how that go. Listen, man, it's your boy Big Fruit. I come through 6 minutes, Dougie. I say what it is, say what it ain't. And right now, it ain't about Rick Ross getting burned up by DC Young Fly and his 85 South crew. Listen, man, don't fuck with that, Rick Ross. Get that thing right, man. Apologize to them young boys, man. Let them niggas know it's all love, and you gonna do the show again, man. Because I'm telling you, they will burn you up. Ooh, they will burn you up. They will burn you up, Sean. I'm telling you, they got jokes, and DC Young Fly ain't nothing to fuck with. That's my guy. But once again, I want to commend DC for conducting himself like a man and being very, very polished in that interview, Sean. Salute to you. Listen, man, it's your boy Big Fruit. I'm up out of here. Until next time, y'all know what it is. Peace.